Welcome back to the Federal Executive Forum on Federal News Network. We're talking about CDM and we're focusing on lessons learned. Shahid, I'm going to ask you, you're in a situation where you're seeing a lot of these various agencies implement this. You're helping them implement it. Lessons learned that you're seeing.
So, couple of things that, as the evolving nature of cybersecurity, right? We've seen a lot of these capabilities, being delivered through integrated platforms and solutions. Historically, what we see, there's a siloed approach, right? We've got a lot of agencies that are kind of looking at point solutions. So how best us as Palo Alto Networks can help use the data that you already have and then also help you modernize your approach, right? Because with an integrated platform and approach, you're able to kind of operationalize quicker, use the data that's already there, the telemetry that's already there. Be through automation, or create some type of orchestration where you can collect data points from your RE tools that are there, and then remediate those things through like a SOAR type solution. But really, it's we're working with a lot of the various customers, how we can provide a lot more than just hey, you got firewalls, you got SASE, you got a lot of these aspects that we can do as an integrated solution and a partner with the agency, so then we can grow and mature your organization and address again the dynamic world of cybersecurity.
Top lesson learned, share lessons learned. It's fantastic. And Richard, I know that you all are doing a great job of pulling all that information in, redistributing it out there. Give us the top lessons learned from where you sit.
I'll go with the soft ones, soft side of this, because I don't want to focus too much on the tech. The customer experience is so critical here. I had mentioned trying to evolve the program to meet the needs exactly what agencies. I think we're still going through that kind of evolution of bringing our customers to the table in very important decisions. For example, tool selection or what kind of technologies that they want to use, right? That's so important because, the program can buy tools very well. We've gotten very good at that. But that's not really kind of what we're after. What we're after is do these investments live beyond the life of CDM, right? Are these important strategically for your organization? And that's only going to happen if the right governance is in place, the right customer decisions or buy-in is there. And so that's so important to making sure that we're not just buying tools, that we're actually buying capabilities that are going to live beyond 2 years, right? And so we've started to really codify that is really an important part of the whole equation. The other thing too is on staffing, and someone had mentioned this earlier. Like there is a huge shortage of not just cyber staff, but IT expertise in general, right? And that's going to be around for a very, very long time, right? So how can we get more efficient to provide services while not maybe taking on some overhead that we don't need? And of course, one of the quickest answers that we have that we've seen firsthand is cloud, right? Taking advantage of cloud native services where possible. And this is not just on just cyber, but there's infrastructure. We on the CDM side as well has started to offer some of our services like dashboard as a service so that you don't have to find certain experts in certain technologies. You can just flip a switch and then focus on training and using the technologies versus having to maintain it, how to provision it, how to upgrade it. And so as a service models and cloud in general are good strategic decisions for investing in IT to really help reduce that overhead and that resource shortage from a staffing perspective.
Great catch on that customer experience, right? First order of business, listen to the customers. What do they need? And quite frankly, what do they not need? Adam, speaking of talent and talent gaps, in steps Deloitte. Give us the state of the state in respect to the lessons learned that you're seeing.
Yeah, Rich is spot on. It's no longer just a cyber staffing problem. It's an IT modernization, modern technology staffing problem. And so we see a shortage across that and looking for specialization. So here at Deloitte, we're not just focusing on what somebody can come into the firm with already experience on, but also training them up. So having very comprehensive training programs here focused on some of those future forward technologies. Or industries, whether it's that machine learning, artificial intelligence, how to use data better, or it's the quantum and cryptography. So these are some key areas that we're going to start seeing a lot of questions rise up from not only our clients, but across the industry. And so we want to come prepared with the right analysts and right engineers across that.
Right. And make sure that that capacity is available where and when we need it, so to speak. Lamont, you have an extensive breadth of experience on this subject. I know you've got a plethora of lessons learned, not just at HHS, but your prior agencies, et cetera. Give us your small top handful there that you'd like to impart this wisdom on us all.
Oh, for sure. I think one of the lessons is pretty much tangential to what's already been stated. I think appreciating the need for, consistent and value-based education to ensure, stakeholders have a common framework of understanding regarding how the CDM solution works, and that they're equipped with knowledgeable resources relative to the configuration and maintenance of components that make up the CDM solution. So, these resources can include standardized documentation within HHS. We provide CDM program assistance as well. And of course, the CISA offered cybersecurity training and exercises. So a shared understanding of the CDM requirements and process provides better awareness of the causes and challenges with data reliability. I think a second lesson might be an appreciation for, adjusting your internal timelines to execute, any necessary procurement activities that can help manage tool renewal delays that may occur during the purchasing, processing, or vendor fulfillment process. So, even, with that understanding, we've been able to successfully execute a number of procurements within the first 6 months of this FY. So, or the ending of FY20.
Fantastic. And again, hats off to all of you, and certainly to the CDM program for making those goods and services available across this ecosystem for the folks to be able to acquire those capabilities and get them on the ground, so to speak. All right, we're going to have to wrap this show up, and we always like to end it with sort of the forward-looking question here, and that's give us a picture of the future a couple of years from now. Shahid, we're going to start with you at Palo Alto. Fast forward a couple of years, you look around, what are you going to see out there? What's the demand signal that's going to be coming in from the community? What do you all have cooking to align to that for the next couple of years?
So really, as post-pandemic COVID, where is work, right? Where are we going to work, right? Work is now, our location is everywhere, right? It's in a Starbucks, it's at home, right? And 1 or 2 times a day you go to the office, right? It's addressing those challenges on user experience, on security, on quicker services, right, to those users and where they're accessing their day-to-day job. For us, right, it's again going down the SaaS is a big piece of that, but at the same time, user experience. How are we using AI to kind of actually enhance the experience, right, for the users, so that wherever they're at, they're able to accomplish their work, do the job that needs to get done without, getting an email from their manager, right? For example, that's one of the things that we see that's going forward, and really, we say AI a lot, but using artificial intelligence, using machine learning, right? That's what we do right now through our global footprint. We're actually capturing everything that our customers do, and then provide recommendations and best practices on simple things like, hey, you have this app running, right? That's the user experience aspect of it, right? When you're working. So this is how we see, again, there's no office to go to anymore. Now we need to make sure that we can deliver our services quicker, faster, secure, and efficient.
No doubt. And we're all looking forward to that. Adam, no question that you all are involved in some very sophisticated implementations as well, as far as AI, ML, et cetera. What do you see in the next couple of years? What's the sense from the Deloitte lab coming out into this environment?
Yeah, I think we've all have teetered along it, and some be more explicit, but it's going to be a lot of flexibility and service offerings. I think providing the services quicker to the clients is going to require certain service catalog type of methodologies. Secondly, the tighter integration with your other capability areas, whether it's threat hunting, incident response, threat intelligence and how you can operationalize that information that's coming in, and then also providing that information to those different organizations so they can operationalize and accomplish their mission quicker. And then finally, that kind of segues into automation. I think Shahid was just talking about it, but automation is going to be a huge factor in the next few years. Is how do we continue to elevate our staff out of the mundane activities and provide them with areas to leverage their training and their expertise rather than doing calls and answering data calls. So automation between one internally and the external stakeholders.
Absolutely, and we certainly look forward to that. Jamie, let's say in a couple of years, you've got your identity management nailed down. Sounds like you're working on the mobile. Perhaps that's well on its way. What do you want to see over there at OJP in a couple of years?
What I'd really like to see is a way that we can continue to ensure that really all employees, so we've mentioned, there's a shortage of IT security professionals and IT, professionals across the space, right? I think that we need to find a way really to feel and ensure that all employees really feel invested in cyber and that they're continuously diligent, right? So I think that that's one way that we can kind of enhance that and further our mission to protect the mission and enable agency missions, right? And I think, though, that we also just need to continue, and I think CDM has done a great job of this, finding ways to minimize the impact, because I think that we're always going to have that dance, right, between our adversaries and how advanced they are, and technologies are always going to be evolving. And so I think if we can find a way to really minimize the impact to the overall mission while we're securing that, I think that that's going to be that sweet spot.
Fantastic. Lamont, a couple of years from now, you've got a lot of moving parts over there. Again, big agency. What's the expectation that perhaps you and the CIO are focusing on and want to achieve over the next couple of years?
We want to continue, at least from a CDM perspective, I assume is your question. Yes.
Sure, of course.
We certainly want to overcome some of the challenges we feel are key to our success. One of which is within the compliance area. Like many other organizations, CDM, of course, is just one of many initiatives that is part of HHS's cybersecurity program. But with that, resources are shared across all of our initiatives, and therefore have competing priorities that can limit the availability and impact of timelines, delayed adoption, implementation, maturity, et cetera. You name it, it runs the gamut. So additionally, organizations with unique environments and security requirements often require customized approaches for upgrades and migrations to capabilities. So, this approach may require additional time to determine paths forward and address technical challenges. Of course, part of EO 14028 is, the move with cloud adoption. And again, with a federated organization such as HHS, what is a given is that there will always be unique environments with varying levels of technical competency and maturity and wherewithal. So to implement and realize the benefits of cloud technology, we have to diligently work to shift culture and provide accompanying strategies to adjust for constant improvement methods. So this can sometimes be difficult when it comes to changing long-term mindsets, but we're working hard to achieve the outcomes that CDM and other technologies provide.
No question. And just so the audience has an appreciation, size of HHS, just roughly?
Size of HHS from a personnel
employee standpoint.
Employee standpoint, there are roughly, take a few thousand, 90,000 or so federal employees.
Yeah. Big agency, a lot of moving parts.
Absolutely.
Appreciate that. David, give us your perspective of where do you want to see that operating environment that you're currently running? What do you want that to look like in a couple of years from now? What's sort of your target over the next couple of years?
A couple of things. I think, one, our drive to cloud-based telemetry, analytics, response platforms, that's all fundamental to our future, right? The things that we can get out of our cloud providers, their visibility across not us, just us, but everyone is fundamental to our ability to be in front of the game. I think our ability to automate enterprise-wide response for mitigation and remediation is critical for the future. So we are moving out on operations rationalization campaign, and we hope to, in the 3-year time frame, bring all of our infrastructure operations up through the middleware stack into one scope of control and with automation. And I think that is the thing that really gets us out of the ask and task, right? And into being able to actually push and move change from a configuration standpoint to protect and in a response to react.
Wow, that is super impressive and certainly a tall order. I know that a lot of those environments are super complex and unique, as Lamont had pointed out, right? There are some uniqueness in these areas. You can't just homogenize those environments. So best of luck with you there. Richard, we're going to cap it off with you. 2 years from now, you're going to be 12 years old at that point. What are you expecting at that point? Give us an insight as to what we can expect from the CDM program, fast forwarding 2 years.
Yeah, and I'm going to put something ambitious out there, and I hope my esteemed panelists here will not.
You heard it here first, right?
Yeah,
let's get some breaking news here.
My hope, my vision is that the next time something like a SolarWinds or next Log4j, we don't send any emails, we don't pick up the phone, we don't send out Outlook meetings, because we have the fabric built, right, so that we can do machine data driven point and detect, right? We don't have to sit on a phone call and discuss what we're seeing. We can actually go to the data and see it, right? And I'm actually quite encouraged with what I'm hearing from my panelists here, that we're making good strides in that direction, right? Enterprise approaches, enterprise data sets. So we won't have to sit around a call, multiple calls, Christmas, because that's usually when this happens, the holidays, right? Where we have to spend that time on phone calls talking about advanced threats, because we will either have automatically detected it and pointed out where it needs to be resolved, or the teams themselves are empowered through technologies to find those things in near real time, right? That's the vision. I hope everyone can agree with us that meetings are great. There's a time for them, certainly, maybe like lunch, but for cyber, you got to be faster, right? You want to be more data driven. That's really where I hope to be in the next 5 to 10. So
fantastic, and a great aspiration. I think everyone is poised and looking forward to more of sort of a machine-to-machine type of environment that you're describing there. Folks, it's been a great show, and I really do appreciate you taking your time out of your busy schedules to join us for this program. I'd also like to thank the sponsors for supporting us on this show. I'd like to thank the good people here at Federal News Network that make our program so successful and enjoyable. And most of all, I'd like to thank you, the listening audience out there that tune in every month. You've been listening to the Federal Executive Forum, part of the Federal News Network.